Hey guys, it's Morgan coming back at you with another weekly Shlog here from Highland Cycles in Western Colorado, where we show you all kinds of cool mechanical stuff. We throw things at Zach and Leandra. We have a ton of fun. We even got a puppers. If you're new here, this is the first time you've ever been here, stick with us. Enjoy it. Let me know how you like it. Also, if it's super awesome, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because that would be really, really cool. This week is going to be a bit of a short week because it is Christmas week, so we're only here 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're taking off time for Christmas. And actually, Zach and Leandra are not even here because they're in Missouri visiting Zach's family for Christmas, which is awesome. Just happy that they get to go visit family. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start on my bike. I just did a big test on Moto Force AT rear tire in the Apex compound, and I put a key and carb on it. I also managed to bend the pipe, and I need to repack the silencer. So let's get started. Highland Cycles, this is Morgan. Yeah, man, how's it going? Yeah, we can do. I try not to plan too much going on this week, so for sure. Yeah, we can do that for sure. All right, man, we'll see you soon. Sweet, guys. So that was a gentleman who we just worked on a bike that he bought for one of his sons for Christmas, and we tried to hammer down and got it done. Well, it turns out he found another bike for his other son, and he wants to get ready for him for Christmas morning. So, woohoo! Things are changing here. I still need to fix this pipe and all that. Also have another plan, so actually this Shlog might be a little more involved than we thought, but I'm really excited. That's awesome. So cool. Someone's gonna get a dirt bike for Christmas. You guys are gonna be seeing this after Christmas. I'm really excited. That's awesome. Well, while we're waiting for that, we'll pull this bike off and kind of set it out of the way so it's not in the way when I work on his. But I'm gonna show you, we got the pipe yesterday. Here, there we go. There we go. Got the pipe yesterday, not terrible. And then also I need to repack the silencer because in my tuning and testing of that carburetor yesterday, I managed to leave the carburetor tilted to the side for a while. Amazingly, it ran really, really well. But I was trying to change jets really quickly and keep rolling. Anyway, I didn't ride very far. It ran pretty good, but anyway, it dumped a whole bunch of gas and spooged a bunch. So anyway, and it's time anyway, so the silencer's super full of oil. So yeah, we're gonna do that as part of the Shlog. And then I also have a GPX Chinese bike that I'm gonna be doing suspension on. And then now I guess I have a Kawasaki that I'm gonna do a full service and tune up and make sure it's good for a kid for Christmas morning. So if that sounds awesome, stick with us. All right, guys, let's start with the silencer. I'm sure I've done a few silencers on the channel before, but why not do it again? Show you guys how we do it. It's real simple. Also, on a two-stroke, guys, please keep your silencers packed and clean and serviced, because the only time a two-stroke becomes annoying to hear, in my opinion, is when the silencers get all full of oil and they get all raspy and nasty sounding. They get really loud. They sound terrible. People hate it. But if you keep your silencer packed and good, they really aren't that loud. So, yeah, let's get after it. All right, I'm gonna start on at least on this FMF, and most of them they just have 3 bolts right around here. These ones happen to be T27 Torx. Let me just pull them apart. Definitely gross, but I don't know if I can't remember if I showed this before on the Shlog, but I drilled some extra holes in here to help try to push more sound through there and keep it clean. I don't know if it made any difference whatsoever, but I did it. So anyway, looks all right, but definitely disgusting. Now I'll get this packing out of here. That is gross and completely soaked. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this over to the parts washer and really just super douche it out, get it all cleaned up, and then I'll show you what we do with this to make sure it's nice and clean. Get our blue wrench out, and we're just gonna burn all this off. There we go. Now, obviously, we gotta let it cool off before we touch it. But when we get it cooled off, we should be able to just grab it, knock it, and it'll take all that crap off. And it looks like those extra holes I put in there really did work, because a lot of the little holes are all clogged up, which is what makes the silencer sound really bad and really annoying, is because the sound's not getting out into the packing. But I think the extra holes, they didn't clog. You can see they stayed open. I think that helped, so that's pretty cool. So let that cool off, we'll knock it off. Gonna pull the pipe and do the heat trick on that. And I'm gonna go ahead and show it again, just because it's so satisfying to watch it pop out on time lapse. So yeah, let me grab that thing, we'll put it up here. Guys, looking nice and clean, all ready to rock and roll. Now we've got our two-stroke packing from FMF, and I'm gonna wrap this sucker up. Some people came in, I started talking anyway. So I did part of it off camera, but anyway, so this is the sheet. I cut a piece off, I took some electrical tape, wrapped that around there. Now what we're gonna do, we're going to come together. It's always a bit of a fight to get that to line up right, but I get that. Got that all tightened up. One of the last things I do is take some clear silicone, and after you get this cleaned up really good, because I just replaced this cap, take some clear silicone and take your finger. We're just gonna seal it up, and then take a rag and we're gonna kind of just clean that all up, and that's gonna leave that little bit in there in the edge, so we can get this all cleaned up so it doesn't collect dust and dirt. But we're gonna have to leave this obviously sitting for a little while for that to dry and set up. You'll end up getting a nice seal. And then I do it down here. I know I could have done it before I slid it in there, but it's always kind of a problem to try to jockey it in there. So I like to do it afterwards. Also, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna make a bit of a mess no matter what. Again, take our rag, clean that all off. So it's not actually making the mess that it looks like it was making, but it's down in the crack. Now I'm gonna set this off to the side, let that set up, put the pipe back on, and then we should be good to go. All right, guys, next job is actually a set of forks. Turns out it's gonna be a crazy Shlog. There's lots of people dropping lots of things off, which is so awesome. I'm super psyched. I was gonna be bored here at the shop, but you know, waiting for Christmas to come, but turns out got lots going on, so I'm super excited. Now we're gonna be doing a set of air forks from my buddy Todd. He dropped these off a while back. We're trying to get them revalved and everything, but we're just running out of time. So we're just gonna service them, get new seals and oil in them, and get them ready to rock and roll. Okay, so I have filmed these before, so I'm gonna just go for it. And if there's anything super duper interesting, I'll bring it in. But I've got other videos showing us doing AER forks. So yeah, let's get after it. All right, guys. So I got the damping side all done anyway. Now I'm working on the air spring. So this is the air spring, and I'm moving it in and out, and there's no way you're gonna feel this through the camera or even be able to hear it, but there's definitely, well, maybe you can kind of hear. See how it's kind of, it's because it's not moving smoothly through there, and that's a real common thing. I'm gonna take this apart and show you guys what's in there. There's there's like an X-ring seal zero. I don't know I forget what they call it. Anyway, there's a seal inside here that it gets dry and doesn't want to do its thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this thing apart. So we chalk it up in the soft jaws. My soft jaws have a V notch cut in it, and it fits perfectly on there. Take a 24 millimeter wrench, and we got to heat this up. We got to be careful because there's a seal here too. We really don't want to mess that up, so we got to try to heat this up, but not go too crazy because it's got a bunch of Loctite on it. Let's see if that's enough. There we go. And there's an O-ring also, all of which you got to be really careful not to melt. I mean, obviously you can replace it, but if we can avoid that, we like to. All right, there we go. Now, there's another piece of plastic in here, and there we go. You got to be kind of careful because there's threads, obviously, that this threads into, and if you're not careful, you can ding up that plastic, and the little bits of plastic, if they come off, end up getting in the seal, and anyway, it's a nightmare. So, there we go. There's, let's see, focus. There we go. There's the seal. This is the grease that they say to use on it, which we'll put some more on there. But the new hot trick to take just a tiny bit of oil. You really don't want much. Just a little bitty teeny weeny bit of oil and put it in here because I can feel in here and it's dry. And that grease, you can repack it and all that stuff, and it definitely lasts a while, but it doesn't last forever. So, got the grease back on there. Then we're going to take just a little tiny bit of 5-weight fork oil. I have found that the 5-weight fork oil, first of all, is nice and slippery because that's the whole point, is for it to slip. Also, it doesn't go through seals. I mean, it's not so thin that the seals will leak, obviously, because that's what's in the outsides. And it's sticky enough that it will keep it coated. And now we're going to go back together. I want to be really careful as we go in. Again, those threads that are on here, you just got to be really cautious. Alright guys, next on the lift is this KX250F. It is, I believe, 2013, I think, something like that. It is fuel injected, and so this is the one that I was talking about earlier. Guy just bought it for his kid for Christmas. We need to go through it and make sure it's going to be all okay. I feel like I've seen this bike before. I can't remember 100%. But first things first, every time I get a bike in here that people want to have checked out or gone over or once, anyway, whatever, we start by making sure it's going to run. That's a good first sign. It started right up. Took a few kicks, but that's normal. So now I'm going to let it run and warm the oil up before I change it. So that's a thing. I don't know if I've ever even mentioned that here on the Shlog or in my videos. If you can, it's a really good idea to run a bike for a while. Maybe turn the idle up a little bit. But anyway, run the bike for a little while before you change the oil. You get that oil all nice and warm, and then it drains out of there better, so you get more of it out. So anyway, I'm going to fire it back up, turn the idle up a little bit, and then we'll go forward. Next on the list is obviously air filter, so let's take a look. Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look great though. Alright guys, so the air filter isn't bad, except for that it's just been in there a long time. And it's got that going on, and some other stuff. It's just like right there. So obviously we're gonna get a new one of those. Right on! I got one, which is awesome. So that would be good. Let it run a little bit longer. While it's running, pull the radiator cap off, make sure it's moving. Alright guys, let's take a look at the oil. I already broke the bolt loose. It's always a good thing to look at when you're buying a bike. See how dirty the oil was from the last change. That's not bad actually. Actually see through it, so that's not bad at all. As I'm sure you have experienced here on the Shlog, if you're not a newcomer, if you've been with us for years, you know that a lot of times you drain oil and it looks way worse. So that's not bad at all. And when I was checking the coolant, it was full. I topped it off a little bit, but it was really pretty much full, no problem. The air filter looks junky, but it was clean, so that's good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the rear wheel here. While that's draining, we'll let that drain. We're going to go to the rear wheel. We're going to put air in the tire, make sure it's going to hold air. And then the chain sprockets, you can see right here, it's definitely not awesome. It's not great. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lube the chain for now. Give them that recommendation to go ahead and do it. I don't think I have the parts, otherwise we'd recommend doing it right now. I'll check, but either way, it'll work. He can ride it like this. We'll just get it replaced here pretty quickly. All right, guys. I was able to get a hold of the customer. He said, go for it. Let's change the chain sprockets, because I actually ended up having the right gearing, so I'm pretty excited. But let me show you something. This is kind of a cool way to look at it. Take a look at, so if you look at this by itself, it's like a lot of people are like, oh, that looks fine, still got teeth, right? Well, when you compare it to that, there we go. Just because your sprocket has teeth doesn't mean it's not worn out. So you can see the difference. It's pretty cool having a black one and a silver one, so you can actually see the difference. But that is what they're supposed to look like. I'm gonna mount this thing up, put a new chain, new front sprocket. Front sprocket is actually definitely hooking. Also, you can see it's kind of hooking like that, like a wave. So that's got to go. Yeah, get that done. Then we're gonna be checking spokes and kind of going through, hitting all the nuts and bolts, and we should be good. I don't know. I'm hoping I can get out and wash this thing for him. It's just cold out there right now, so I'm trying to bide my time until it's warm. So anyway, we'll see. We'll get this thing done. All right, so we're getting everything on, and I happen to notice that the brake pads are getting awfully low. There we go, awfully low. So fortunately, we got a set. We're gonna swap those out too. All right, guys, getting ready to put the chain on, but I just want to show you something real fast on Kawasaki. So if you look at this axle block, adjuster block, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so it's got this big piece right here that's to butt up against the adjuster. So when you're installing the other side, if you look at it, it's eccentric, right? So the hole is not in the middle. That means this needs to go forward to mimic that other side. Obviously you can go like that, and it's got marks top and bottom that match up with the bottom, and so it's easy to just slap it on there, especially if it didn't have that mark on it, and have it be way off on your adjustment. So just something to look at. All right, I'm gonna get this chain on here. All right, guys, next on the lift is the GPX. I forget what they call this thing. It's a 300. I'm not sure where the model is, but anyway, someone can comment that below. Not that it really matters. They have a few different models, but not a ton. This is the Enduro. Obviously, it's street legal, or was street legal. It used to have a license plate on it. But this is owned by Hello Dirt here on YouTube. He brought it by for us to do some suspension work. So this is gonna be interesting, guys, because I don't know if we have the parts to to do it, because I don't really know what they are. They're what are they? I don't know what they're called. That's stuck on there, but let's take it. Strong shock absorber. I believe that's what the front would say too, because it looks like the same kind of S. So I've been told that it takes the same as a KTM seal, so that'll be good if it does, because I have those. It looks kind of KTM-y, except for these 4 holes. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. That's gonna be interesting to get the inner cartridge out. But it looks like the outer stuff and the seals, looks like those are probably 48s, but let's take a look. Grab our calipers. So yeah, oh, this is 48.6, but that's because I wasn't being careful. So 48 millimeters. I got a whole bunch of 48 millimeter seals, so I'm assuming that we're gonna have the right thing. So join me. This is gonna be fun. Figuring out what's inside these. I have no clue. We'll start with the right one. I'm guessing they're the same, left to right. They look the same, but we'll take a look in both of them just in case they're different. So anyway. All right, guys, got the GPX all done. Suspension's working great. Got the carburetor all sorted out, so it's good to go. Talked to Jared, and he is fired up. He's gonna come pick it up next week. So anyway, guys, I love you so much. I hope you enjoyed this Shlog. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas with family and friends, and you got to hang out and spend really good quality time with those folks. I really hope that you guys get a... As always, I hope you get out and spread the gospel of 2 wheels, and I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes! Ooh, maybe. Haha.